What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Brandon Coin YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at L3++s, but in my opinion, even L3+s fall into this category. So these units are older. They're definitely not any spring chickens, but they can still hash and make some not only good heat, but a little bit of revenue, especially in the wintertime. These are going to be great because right now this is running stock firmware, so the fans are a little loud. But you can tune these down with aftermarket firmware so they burn less power and they still hash almost identically. The setting I like to run mine on is from Hive. It's a Hive firmware, and it runs them at 500 mega hash, right at about 650-ish, give or take, watts. Some of my units run a little bit less, some of them run a little bit more. So that places them a lot better efficiency wise on the scale than running them at stock, because I believe stock is somewhere at like 500 and some mega hash at like 1100 watts. It basically cuts the power in half. So that not only makes them burn less power, but it makes the chips on the actual ASIC run cooler, so then you don't have to run those fans as hard. Now you can turn those fans down or let them auto ramp up or ramp down, or you can actually swap those fans out for quieter fans now that you don't need all that airflow to cool that 1100 watts. You're only cooling 600 watts, for example. So I'm going to definitely show you that in a future video. I'm going to go ahead and order some Noctua fans and essentially build a L3 home, you know, like a L3++ home edition, which is going to be Noctua fans. And we'll even go in and pop the power supply apart and put a Noctua fan in there, because those power supplies, that little fan does make some noise as well. But anyway, guys, I just booted this one up. If you ever get your hands on an L3+, which I do have these for sale on my Jelly Bay store, so I'll put that link down below. But if you ever get your hands on one of these, the first thing you need to do is reset them. So you plug it in, let it run for, I'd say, about 2 to 3 minutes. That way it fully boots up. Then you're going to need to take something with a point or a pin and go right here, and there's a reset. So you just hold that for 10 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And when you let off, you'll hear the fans ramp down right there, and then they'll kick back up. And what it's doing is it's resetting the hash board. So that way there's a default login for the username and password. And it's going to be root. So R-O-O-T, R-O-O-T. And that's how you're going to be logging in to your device and changing the settings on it. So from this point, we're going to go inside, jump on the computer. I'll show you how to find your actual device. There's multiple ways to do it, but I'll show you the way I like doing it, and then we'll get all the information for your wallet and the pool. So let's jump into it, ladies and gentlemen. Now that we're inside, I used advanced IP scanner, but you can use any IP scanner that's on your network. And the advanced IP scanner is free. Scan them all, and then boom, Antminer pops up. You can always look, and the manufacturer shows up as Texas Instruments. I guess they use one of their chips or something inside there. And then you can actually just go to that IP address right there. You're gonna come up to a login screen like this. So let's just type in root and then root, enter, and now we are in. So from this point, we can see that it's running basic stock Antminer firmware. We're gonna need to upgrade that, and we are going to be doing the Hive firmware. So before you do that, we have to do a resigner file right here, and it just basically takes the file unsigning away. It'll actually fail, cannot find signature. Click go back. Now we can do the actual Hive L3+ firmware. Open and flash, replace, and we'll give this a minute, and when it loads back up, I'll show you how to get your pool and all that information inputted. All right, so I got done flashing. Sometimes when it's done flashing, it'll appear the same. Just navigate to one of the other menus, and then it'll change over to the Hive on firmware. Sometimes there's a page, the file's cached, so it's pulling the old page. But from this point, then you can just go into miner configuration. If you're gonna link it to Hive, you can go to HiveOS, go down here and put your farm hash in. You can find your farm hash underneath your Hive and go to add a worker, and click it as an existing worker or ASIC, and it'll give you the farm hash, or you can look up the farm hash. Put that in, hit apply, and then this will show up on your Hive end. Now, if you're not gonna use Hive, you can go to miner configuration, and you can put in the pool URL, worker, and password. Then you can set up a couple different settings down here. Stop running when PCB is over 80 degrees Celsius. I like using that. Customize fan speed percentage, not necessarily needed unless you want to lock them higher or lower. Restart when hash rate is too low. Restart when number of X exceeds threshold, which that means if it finds dead chips. Normally it's set to any more than 3, so we'll just leave it on 3. And then disable fan check, immersion cooling only. That is needed sometimes if you're using a fan that's not a stock fan. And it can't go at the same RPM range. So if you use a fan that won't ramp up all the way, it'll throw an error. So you can disable the fan check and it won't throw that error. Now, I'm gonna go get that pool information, but another thing to check out here is going into the auto tuner configuration. And this is the setting I like running most of the time, 504 mega hash at 660 watts. Now, if you're okay with trading off more wattage for a little bit more power, a little hash power, you can ramp it all the way up. But as you do this, you need to make sure you have a power supply that's capable of supplying the extra power, and also you watch where you place them. Some of these upper limits, especially that 1300 watts, if you have the miner in a high ambient air temperature location, the stock fans won't be enough to cool it. So take that into account as well. I think running them at 500 mega hash at 600 watts is the best way, in my opinion. And it's also gonna be the easiest on the miner long-term, hopefully making it last as long as possible. Another thing, once you're up and running, you can click on manual chips frequency config, and you can actually see if any of the chips are throwing any errors. And now it looks like this board has a couple errors on a couple of these chips, but it's not currently mining yet. I don't have anything in, so we're gonna wait, let it mine for a second, and then see if those errors still keep popping up. Then you can always go to the miner status and see how it's mining. We don't have a pool in there, so it's not currently mining. So let me get that pool information and I'll be right back. Guys, so we're over on the miner status. I went ahead and hooked it up to the pool, and you can see we're doing 660 watts, and it's right at 491 mega hash. We'll give this a second. It just booted up. I think we have no accepted shares yet, so we'll just wait for that. And yeah, that mega hash will start creeping on up there, and it'll end up leveling off right around 500 mega hash at that 660 watts. Now, we have no hardware errors, so that's good. Temperatures are all pretty much ice cold, under 30 degrees Celsius. Now, what does that mean for how we're going to be profitable, or how much money we're going to be making? Let's go ahead and jump over there and show you. All right, so right now, and this doesn't help that a lot of things are down, but it's doing 39 cents a day, and that comes out to 1.79 Doge per day. You also end up making other coins too, because this is merge mineable, but your big ones, your most profit is going to be coming from your Doge. So 1.79 Doge per day. What is Doge at right now? Doge is at 13.7 cents. It's actually on a pretty big downswing over the last week. It's down 6.8%. Over the last 24 hours, it's actually down 7.62%. So potentially this could lead to people pulling systems off, and then network hash rate going down. So difficulty will go down, and then yield will go up. The amount of coins you actually earn could potentially go up to offset that. But I don't know how long this downswing is going to go. I don't know. Some people said this is the beginning of a long bear market. In that case, you know what? Bear market winter, it's time for mining and stacking coins. And you got to start looking at your actual coins you're earning, not necessarily what they're worth at that time, but what you want to end up selling them for. So if we were, even, what was it, earlier today, it was above 15 cents, and that 1.79 Doge, 1.79 times 0.15, just in Doge, it was making 26 cents, not to mention the other coins that it was earning on top of that. But since its profitability is down, you're earning significantly less. So yeah. So 11 bucks a month, $141 a year. Not great. Electricity is wiped out on this because these units are not profitable to run. They burn, depending on, let's see here, like my electricity rate's 14 cents. Now, this does have it figured in at the 850 watts, like a stock one, not necessarily that you're running like a lower power, like a 600 watt one. But at 14 cents, like my residential rate, you'd be burning $3 a day. If you had like a good rate, like a lot of people tell me, you know, oh, I got 6-7 cents per kilowatt hour. At 6 cents per kilowatt hour, you're burning a little over $1.30 a day. So you'd be losing 92 cents a day if you mined and sold. So your big strategy with this is offsetting some heat output and holding your coins. So if you're not looking to create some heat in a location and hold on to some coins for the future, this is probably not a good buy for you. But the one advantage here is these things are cheap and they do run on 110 volt, or they can run on 110 volt if you have the right power supply. Whereas you start to step up into the bigger ASICs and they don't run on 110 volt natively. You have to either mod them or buy special power supplies, that kind of thing. So yeah. Anyway, guys, if you do want to get these, I do have some over on the Jelly Bay. I will put a link down below in the description. If you don't, I totally understand. I'm going to be recapping some other older miners and just seeing the viability of them, especially with winter coming in, because these things are great. Run them through the winter, help heat up some spaces, and then whenever you're done with them, shut them off and let them sit through the summertime. And then it's the best kind of little profit heater. And then if Dogecoin spikes, then profitability spikes on these. So yeah, anyways, y'all have a good one. I'll see you on the flip side. Adios.